Alright, what is up everyone, and welcome back to The Fact Story, the channel where we find the most absolutely insane facts on the entire planet, and show them to you today. We are diving into something that sounds like it was ripped straight out of a comic book, but I promise you, every single thing you're about to see is 100% real. Forget what you know about Marvel or DC, because the superheroes we're talking about today don't wear capes. They have claws, scales, and some of them are so small you can barely even see them. This video is going to completely change the way you look at the animal kingdom, forever. We spent thousands of dollars researching this just to blow your minds. We have compiled the most unbelievable, jaw-dropping list of creatures with abilities that scientists can barely even explain. I'm talking about animals that can literally regenerate their own brains, creatures that can shoot boiling chemicals out of their bodies, and even one that is basically immortal. This isn't science fiction, this is real life. And it is crazier than anything you could possibly imagine. Every single animal on this list has a superpower that would make them an S-tier character in any video game, so buckle up, because we are about to count down the top 10 animals with the most bizarre superpowers you have ever seen. You are not going to believe what these animals can do. We're talking about a shrimp that can punch with the force of a bullet, an octopus that can shapeshift into 15 different animals, and a frog that literally breaks its own bones to create claws. This is the kind of stuff that sounds completely made up, but it's happening all around us every single day in the wild. I challenge you to watch this entire video without having your mind blown at least 10 times. If you make it to the end, comment which animal you think has the craziest superpower. We might even give a prize to the best comment, who knows? Every animal you are about to see defies the laws of nature as we know them. I'm personally most excited to show you the one that can survive in the vacuum of outer space. You heard me right, outer space. So if you're ready to see the most extreme, the most bizarre, and the most powerful creatures on Earth, then don't go anywhere. Hit that subscribe button right now so you don't miss our next insane video, because trust me, you're going to want to see what we have planned. Alright, no more waiting, no more talking. Let's get right into the list. Starting with number 1, this is absolutely wild. Alright, for our next animal, we are looking at what might be nature's cutest and most mind-blowing medical miracle. Everyone say hello to the axolotl. Just look at this thing. It looks like a Pokemon that someone forgot to finish designing, with that weird, happy smile and those feathery gills. But do not let its adorable appearance fool you. This little amphibian from Mexico is hiding a superpower that scientists around the world are completely obsessed with, because this animal is, for all practical purposes, virtually unkillable. It has the most advanced healing factor of any vertebrate on planet Earth. So what do I mean by unkillable? I'm talking about regeneration on a level that makes absolutely no sense. If an axolotl loses a leg in a fight with a predator, it doesn't just scar over. It grows a brand new perfect leg back in a matter of weeks. Bones, muscle, skin, nerves, everything. But it doesn't stop there. If its heart gets damaged, it just repairs it. If its spine gets crushed, it can regenerate it and swim away like nothing ever happened. This is where it gets truly insane. If you damage its brain, it can regrow the missing pieces. It literally regrows parts of its own brain. Think about what that means. This animal holds the key to biological immortality and perfect healing. Scientists are studying these creatures non-stop, trying to figure out how they do it. What is the genetic secret that allows them to rebuild their bodies from almost any injury without scarring or loss of function? They can even accept organ transplants from other axolotls without their bodies rejecting them. They are a complete biological anomaly, defying everything we thought we knew about how bodies work. This isn't just healing, it's a complete system reboot on demand. If humans had this superpower, the world would be completely different. Hospitals would practically go out of business. Losing a limb wouldn't be a life-altering tragedy, it would be a temporary inconvenience. Brain damage from an accident could just fix itself. The axolotl is living proof that this level of regeneration is possible in a complex animal. It's like a real-life Wolverine, but instead of claws, it just has this goofy, permanent smile on its face while it defies the fundamental laws of biology. This little guy isn't just an animal, it's a blueprint for the future of medicine. Alright, so we've seen a shrimp that shoots bubbles and a lizard that literally regrows its brain, but what if you could just electrocute anything that bothers you, like instantly? That's what this next animal does for a living, and honestly, it's one of the most insane superpowers in the entire animal kingdom. Forget tasers or electric fences, this thing is a living, breathing power plant swimming around and just waiting for someone to mess with it. Imagine having that ability. Someone cuts you in line? Zap. Your friend steals the last slice of pizza? Zap. It would be the ultimate life hack, and this underwater creature has completely mastered it. This isn't just some tiny little spark either. We are talking about a massive electrical discharge that would make you rethink everything you know about nature. The electric eel can generate up to 600 volts of pure, raw electricity from its own body. That's 5 times the voltage of a standard US wall socket. It's enough to stun a full-grown horse or even a human, knocking them out cold in an instant. This thing doesn't need claws or venom, its entire body is a weapon. It's like if your phone battery could suddenly unleash a lightning bolt on command. This is next-level evolution, and honestly, it's terrifyingly awesome. So how does it even do this without shocking itself to death? It's absolutely wild. The eel has thousands of specialized cells called electrocytes, which are basically tiny biological batteries all lined up inside its body. When it wants to attack or defend itself, it sends a nerve signal that makes all these little batteries discharge at the exact same time. The combined power creates one massive, devastating shockwave. It can even control the intensity, giving a small warning zap or unleashing the full 600-volt blast to take down its prey. It's a walking, swimming, high-voltage weapon of mass destruction. And get this, it doesn't just use its power for attacking, it also uses lower-voltage pulses as a kind of radar to navigate through murky water and find hidden prey. It's like having built-in night vision goggles that also double as a death ray. This animal is so ridiculously overpowered it almost feels like a cheat code for survival. It's not a Pokemon, it's not a comic book character. This is a real animal that can literally shoot lightning from its body. If that doesn't blow your mind, I don't know what will. It's pure, raw, evolutionary genius, and it's easily one of the craziest superpowers on this list. Okay, so we've seen animals that can regenerate and animals that can electrocute, but this next one has a power that is straight out of a spy movie. Imagine being able to transform into anything you want to avoid danger. That's the entire life of the mimic octopus. This thing is the ultimate master of disguise, a true shapeshifter that takes camouflage to a whole new level. It doesn't just blend in with a rock or some seaweed, it literally becomes other animals. It's like having a million different costumes and being able to switch between them in less than a second. This is the kind of superpower that would make any predator just give up and go home confused. Found in the waters of Southeast Asia, this octopus has the most insane party trick in the ocean. It can actively impersonate up to 15 different marine animals. 15! It doesn't just change its color, it changes its shape, its texture, and even the way it moves to perfectly copy other creatures. It can flatten its body and trail its arms to look like a venomous flatfish, or it can tuck its arms in and jet through the water to look like a deadly sea snake. It analyzes its predators and then transforms into the one thing that predator is afraid of. It's not just hiding, it's using psychological warfare against its enemies. Think about how insane that is. If a hungry damselfish is chasing it, the octopus will morph into a banded sea snake, which is a known predator of damselfish. The fish sees it, freaks out, and swims away as fast as it can. It's a genius-level strategy. It can also puff itself up and spread its arms out to look like a spiky, venomous lionfish, scaring off even bigger threats. This octopus has a whole library of monsters it can become at a moment's notice. It's not just mimicry, it's performance art. It's a one-animal theater show where every character is designed to make you run for your life. This is without a doubt one of the most intelligent and bizarre superpowers on the planet. Most animals have one defense mechanism, maybe two. This octopus has at least 15, and it chooses the perfect one for every single situation. It's a shapeshifter, an actor, and a strategist all rolled into one squishy, 8-armed package. It proves that sometimes the best weapon isn't strength or speed, but the ability to become someone else entirely. Forget hiding in a box, this octopus becomes the box, the room, and the monster under the bed all at once. An underwater shapeshifter is real, and it's absolutely incredible. Alright, every superpower on this list has been insane, but this next one breaks the fundamental rule of life itself. What's the one thing every living creature has in common? They're all going to die, right? Wrong. Say hello to the immortal jellyfish, an animal that has literally figured out how to live forever. This isn't science fiction, this is a real creature that can basically hit the reset button on its own life. It has achieved biological immortality, something humans have only dreamed of. This tiny jellyfish has cracked the code to eternal life, and it's just floating around in the ocean like it's no big deal. So how does it work? It's one of the most mind-blowing processes in all of biology. When most animals get old, injured, or stressed, their bodies break down and they die. But when the immortal jellyfish faces the same problems, it does something completely different. It reverts back to its earliest stage of life, a polyp, which is like a tiny little blob attached to a rock. It basically goes back to being a baby. From there, it can grow up all over again into a new, healthy, adult jellyfish. It's like playing a video game and getting to restart the level every time you're about to lose. This isn't just a one-time trick either. Scientists believe it can repeat this process over and over and over again indefinitely. As long as it doesn't get eaten by a predator or completely destroyed, it can theoretically live forever by just cycling between its adult and baby forms. Imagine being 80 years old and instead of dying, you just turn back into an infant and get to do it all again with all your memories wiped clean. It's a biological fountain of youth. This jellyfish doesn't age, it just recycles itself. Death, for this creature, is basically optional. This single, tiny animal challenges everything we thought we knew about aging and life itself. It holds the key to a secret that could change medicine and humanity forever. While we're all here worried about getting older, this jellyfish has found a loophole in the system. It's not the biggest or the strongest animal in the ocean, but it has the one superpower that trumps all others: endless life. Living a long life is cool, but living forever? That's on a whole other level. The immortal jellyfish is proof that nature is weirder, more amazing, and more powerful than we can possibly imagine. Alright, coming in at number 6 on our list of animals with insane superpowers, we have this tiny little guy right here, the Bombarder Beetle. It might not look like much, probably something you'd see crawling on the sidewalk, but I promise you, this thing is basically a walking, six-legged chemical weapon. Imagine you're a predator, maybe a hungry spider or a bird, and you see this beetle just chilling. You think it's an easy meal, right? Wrong. You get close and suddenly, bang, you're getting blasted with a jet of boiling hot, toxic chemicals straight to the face. This isn't just a little squirt, this is a full-on, high-pressure, explosive spray that would make any action movie hero jealous. It's like this beetle has a secret flamethrower built into its butt and it is not afraid to use it. So, how does this even work? Because this sounds like something straight out of a comic book, not real life. Inside the beetle's abdomen it has two separate glands that store two different chemicals, hydroquinone and hydrogen peroxide. On their own they're pretty harmless. But when the beetle gets scared, it pumps these two chemicals into a super reinforced combustion chamber, adds some special enzymes, and kaboom! A violent chemical reaction happens instantly, heating the mixture to 100 degrees Celsius. That's literally the boiling point of water. The pressure from this reaction forces the spray out of its rear end at an insane speed, creating a loud popping sound. It's not just one shot either. This thing can fire hundreds of times in a row. It's a literal machine gun. This isn't just for show, guys. This superpower is one of the most effective defense mechanisms in the entire animal kingdom. The spray is not only scalding hot, which would be bad enough, but it's also a noxious chemical irritant that can burn and even blind its attackers. Think about it. If you were a frog and you tried to eat this thing, you'd get a mouthful of boiling poison. You would immediately spit it out and probably never try to eat a beetle again. There are actual videos of frogs swallowing these beetles, only to vomit them back up moments later because the beetle is literally exploding inside their stomach. That is the most hardcore thing I've ever heard. This beetle doesn't just survive being eaten, it fights its way out from the inside. Let's put this into perspective. If a human had this power, it would be the most insane thing ever. Forget pepper spray, you could literally just point and shoot boiling chemicals at anyone who messes with you. You'd never have to worry about anything ever again. This beetle has evolved its own personal, reusable, high-tech defense system that is more advanced than some military weapons. It has mastered chemistry and biology to create a literal cannon on its body. So next time you see a tiny bug, remember it could be a bombardier beetle, packing more heat than you could possibly imagine. This is evolution at its most extreme, and it's absolutely wild. Okay, if you thought the last one was crazy, you are not ready for what we've got at number 7. This is the hairy frog, and its superpower is one of the most brutal and shocking things I have ever seen in my entire life. I'm not even exaggerating. This frog doesn't have venom, it doesn't have camouflage, it doesn't shoot poison. When it's threatened, it literally breaks its own bones on purpose. Yes, you heard me right. It snaps the bones in its toes, forces the sharp broken ends through its own skin, and uses them as retractable claws. This isn't a cartoon, this is a real animal that turns its own skeleton into a weapon. It's like nature decided to create its very own Wolverine, but in frog form. Let's break down this absolutely insane ability because it's genuinely hard to believe. The hairy frog, which gets its name from the weird hair-like growths on the males, has these unique specialized bones in its toes. These bones have sharp, pointed ends. When the frog feels like its life is in danger, a special muscle contracts with incredible force, snapping the bone at its base. The sharp, dagger-like fragment is then pushed out through the frog's toe pads, creating a set of claws that are literally made of bone. This is an active, voluntary process. The frog is choosing to break its own body to defend itself. This is next-level pain tolerance and dedication to survival. Now you're probably thinking, okay, but what happens after? Does it just walk around with broken, bloody feet for the rest of its life? Here's where it gets even crazier. Scientists believe that after the threat is gone, the frog can somehow retract the bone claws back into its skin. And then, over time, the broken bones and the damaged tissue just heal. It goes through this gruesome, body horror transformation, uses its bone claws to fight off a predator, and then just chills out and heals itself like it's no big deal. The level of biological control this requires is mind-blowing. It's a superpower that comes with a terrible price, but the frog pays it every single time it needs to. Imagine if humans could do this. You're in a dangerous situation and you just decide to snap your finger bones and turn them into claws. It's horrifying, but it's also kind of awesome in the most metal way possible. The hairy frog is a testament to how far evolution will go to give a creature a fighting chance. It doesn't have fangs, it doesn't have armor, so it made its own weapons from the only material it had available, its own skeleton. This isn't just a superpower, it's a sacrifice, and for that, the hairy frog has easily earned its spot as one of the most bizarre and hardcore animals on the planet. For our eighth animal, we're shrinking things down, way down, to the microscopic level. Say hello to the tardigrade, also known as the water bear, and it is without a doubt the most indestructible animal on this entire planet. I will give $1 million to anyone who can find a tougher creature. Seriously, this tiny, eight-legged animal can survive conditions that would kill literally anything else. We're talking about the vacuum of outer space, insane levels of radiation being boiled alive and being frozen solid for decades. None of it matters to the tardigrade, it just doesn't die. It is the closest thing to a truly immortal being that exists. So what's its secret? How can a microscopic creature be tougher than a cockroach, a bear, and a crocodile combined? The tardigrade's superpower is something called cryptobiosis. When conditions get bad, like the world is ending bad, it can enter a state of suspended animation. It curls up into a tiny dehydrated ball called a ton, slows its metabolism down to less than 0.01% of its normal rate, and just waits. It replaces the water in its cells with special sugars that protect its internal structures from being destroyed. In this state, it's basically no longer alive in the traditional sense, it's just existing, waiting for things to get better. Let me give you some examples of what this little guy can survive, because the list is ridiculous. Scientists have boiled them at over 150 degrees Celsius. They've frozen them to near absolute zero, the coldest temperature possible in the universe. They've subjected them to pressures 6 times greater than the deepest part of the ocean. They even sent them to space on a satellite, exposed them to the vacuum and deadly solar radiation for 10 days, and when they brought them back to Earth and gave them a drop of water, many of them just woke up and started crawling around like nothing happened. They literally survived outer space. This is beyond a superpower, this is invincibility. If a human could do this, we could explore the entire universe without a spaceship. We could travel to Mars just by curling up into a ball and waiting until we get there. We could survive any apocalypse imaginable. The tardigrade redefines what it means to be a survivor. It shows us that life can exist and endure in the most extreme environments we can possibly conceive of. It might be the smallest animal on our list, but its superpower is by far one of the biggest. The tardigrade isn't just an animal, it's a promise that life in some form is basically unstoppable. Alright, for our number 9 spot, we've got an animal that sounds like it came straight out of a horror movie. But I promise you, this thing is 100% real. Meet the horned lizard. It looks like a tiny, spiky dinosaur, which is already pretty cool, but that's not its superpower. This lizard has one of the most insane, most disgusting, and honestly, most unbelievable defense mechanisms on the entire planet. When a coyote or a fox gets too close, thinking it's found an easy snack, This lizard does something that would make anyone or any animal do a double take and run for the hills. It doesn't bite, it doesn't run, it just stares you down and prepares for something truly wild. So what does it do? It shoots blood from its eyes. I'm not kidding, you cannot make this stuff up. This isn't just a little tear of blood either, it literally builds up blood pressure in its head until tiny vessels in the corners of its eyes burst, launching a stream of blood up to 5 feet away. Can you even imagine that? An animal is trying to eat you and you just blast it in the face with a high-pressure stream of your own blood. The sheer shock factor alone is a game changer. It's like, you think you've got the upper hand and suddenly you're in a low-budget horror film and the main character is this tiny lizard. But wait, it gets even weirder. This isn't just any blood, the blood it shoots is mixed with a foul-smelling chemical that comes from the ants it eats. So not only are you getting sprayed with blood from its eyeballs, but it also stinks, making predators like wolves and coyotes absolutely hate the taste. It's a double whammy of pure disgust. It's a biological weapon designed for maximum shock and repulsion. This little desert warrior proves that you don't need to be big and strong to survive. Sometimes, all you need is a power so weird and so gross that nobody wants to mess with you. Think about the evolutionary genius behind this. Nature literally gave this lizard blood cannons in its face. It's a last resort, a final get-away-from-me move that is so effective precisely because it's so bizarre. It's a high-stakes gamble, sacrificing its own blood to survive another day. And it works. This isn't just a weird party trick, it's a finely tuned survival superpower that has kept this species alive in the harsh desert. So next time you think you've seen it all, just remember, there's a lizard out there that weaponizes its own face. Absolutely incredible. Okay, we've seen some crazy powers, but we've saved an absolute monster for last. This is the Peacock mantis shrimp, and I want you to forget everything you know about the word shrimp. This creature is not a tiny, harmless snack. It is, without a doubt, one of the most ridiculously overpowered animals in the entire ocean. It's like nature decided to create the perfect fighting machine, and then gave it a rainbow paint job just to show off. Its main weapon? It has 2 clubs that it uses to punch its prey, but these aren't just any punches, these are the fastest punches in the entire animal kingdom. How fast, you ask? This shrimp's punch accelerates faster than a .22 caliber bullet. Let me say that again, faster than a bullet. It throws its club-like arms at over 80 kilometers per hour, or 50 miles per hour, in less than 0.003 of a second. The force is so extreme that it can literally shatter aquarium glass, break open the shells of crabs and clams with a single hit, and instantly obliterate its prey. The punch is so fast it actually boils the water around it, creating a shockwave bubble that collapses with a second explosive impact. So even if it misses, the shockwave alone can stun or kill its target. It's a 1-2 punch delivered in a single move. And if having the world's most powerful punch wasn't enough, the Peacock mantis shrimp also has the most complex eyes in the world. Humans have 3 types of color-receptive cones in our eyes. Dogs have 2. This shrimp has 16. It can see colors that we can't even begin to comprehend, including ultraviolet and polarized light. It's like it's living in a completely different, more vibrant reality than the rest of us. It can see cancer cells in other animals and humans before our best technology can. It's part boxer, part Terminator, and part alien super scientist. This creature is the definition of overkill. It has a punch that defies physics and vision that borders on supernatural. It's a walking, swimming, punching paradox of beauty and brutal violence. It's a living testament to how far evolution can go when it decides to just throw every single superpower into one tiny, colorful package. The Peacock mantis shrimp isn't just an animal with a superpower, it's an animal that is a superpower. It's easily one of the most incredible, most powerful, and most bizarre pound-for-pound fighters on the entire planet. What an absolute legend. And that's a wrap. From a lizard that shoots blood from its eyes to a shrimp that punches faster than a bullet, we've seen 10 animals that are living, breathing superheroes. These creatures prove that you don't need a comic book to find powers that are out of this world. Sometimes you just need to look in your own backyard or deep in the ocean. The natural world is filled with abilities so insane, they make sci-fi movies look tame. Every single one of these animals has pushed the boundaries of biology, evolving unique and mind-blowing ways to survive and dominate their environments. We've seen regeneration, immortality, and literal flamethrowers. So the big question is, which of these animal powers absolutely blew your mind the most? Was it the immortal jellyfish that can literally decide not to die? Or maybe the hairy frog that breaks its own bones to create claws, like a real-life Wolverine? For me, it has to be the Mantis shrimp. The idea of a punch so fast it boils water is just on another level of insane. But I want to know what you guys think, so drop your favorite animal superpower in the comments below. Let's see which one wins. If you enjoyed this wild ride through nature's real-life X-Men, do us a massive favor and smash that like button, because it really helps the channel out. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to Loot Drop Legend because we are just getting started. We're on a mission to bring you the most insane facts, the wildest creatures, and the most unbelievable stories that seem too crazy to be true, but are. Don't forget to tap that notification bell so you never miss an upload. You won't want to miss what we have coming next. Thank you all so much for watching and for being a part of this community. Every like, every comment, and every subscription means the world to us and allows us to keep making videos like this for you guys. We're constantly searching for the next mind-blowing topic to explore, and we can't wait to share it with you. Until then, stay curious, keep exploring, and we will see you all in the next one. Peace out.